Hi, good evening. First off, I want to thank all the members and all the staff for not only all the hard work you put in today, but throughout the entire process, and I know it's a long one, and we really appreciate it. My name is Conor Bambrick. I'm with Environmental Advocates of New York, and on behalf of the organization and the 50,000 New Yorkers who are supporters and fellow advocates, I thank you for the opportunity to testify today. We've already submitted lengthy testimony, so I'm just going to hit on some of the key points. Since it did not appear as though either the President or congressional leaders share the values that New Yorkers place on environmental safeguards, states have an obligation to lead. The nation needs New York to return to being a true environmental leader, to show the pathway forward where environmental protection once again unleashes the innovation and entrepreneurial spirit that New York is known for. Here are the few key areas that we'd like to see the legislature address and amend from what was proposed in the executive budget, or not proposed. One area is congestion pricing. We support congestion pricing and call on the legislature to adopt policies that set fees on vehicles entering the central business district of Manhattan and ensure that the revenue collected supports the MPA. The 2018-2019 budget must also contain an agreement on a sustainable long-term and statewide mass transit support strategy. In the Environmental Protection Fund, the governor has proposed a $300 million authorization for this year's fund. However, the financial plan does not have the full cash to back it. We urge the legislature to develop a sound EPF financing plan. On plastic bags, since the governor failed to live up to his promise of proposing a statewide solution, we call on the legislature to adopt a bag ban fee proposal in the budget and to take those fees and use them to support the EPF. On climate change, though Governor Cuomo would like New York to be considered a climate leader, his budget proposals do not contain the type of comprehensive climate and energy policy that other states have embraced. The legislature should act on climate and include the bipartisan Climate and Community Protection Act as a component of the 2018-2019 budget. This is an opportunity for the legislature to really assert its authority over energy policy here once again in New York State. On the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, for the fourth straight year, the governor has proposed transferring $23 million in RGGI funds to the general fund to cover costs associated with certain energy-related tax credits. This comes at a time when the RGGI operating budget is running deep deficits. New Yorkers, as I think was suggested by Chairman Engelbright earlier, would be better served if these funds were repurposed to provide communities on the front lines of climate change with access to energy efficiency opportunities that are not currently being offered up by NYSERDA or other state programs. Renewable power for the Empire State Plaza. We're calling on the legislature to modify the proposed executive budget to allow the Office of General Services to spend previously appropriated funds for renewables and to prohibit funds from being expended on fossil fuel-fired technologies for the Empire Plaza microgrid. The energy supply for the central nervous system and state government should be 100% clean, renewable power and not dirty fossil fuels. On tax credit deferrals, Part S of Revenue Bill Article 7 Revenue Bill is an ill-advised deferral of tax credit payments. Among these are credits for electric vehicle charging infrastructure, green buildings, brownfield remediation, and brownfield redevelopment. The legislature should reject these deferrals. On water quality improvements, New York urgently needs to make more substantial investments in water infrastructure across the state. We urge the legislature to make that a priority again in the 18-19 budget by moving the Water Infrastructure Improvement Grant Program to be at the $800 million level for this year and next. We're also asking that the budget provide $25 million from the Clean Water Infrastructure Act for Hoosick Falls to hook up to a new clean water source as soon as possible. On the Diesel Emissions Reduction Act, we are urging that there be no more delays to this now 10-year-old law. The executive budget does not include any further delay of implementing. We urge the legislature to pass the budget without any further delays. And then finally on DEC staffing, the budget should restore DEC staff levels to address the losses sustained at the agency during the recession from the last decade. Too many laws are being inadequately implemented and enforced for one simple reason: there aren't enough cops on the beat. In closing, Environmental Advocates looks forward to working with the legislature to advance a final budget that is protective of New Yorkers' health and environment. And thank you very much for your time.